I'm sure they think it's a good deal, but we differ. I think this is a bad deal. It leaves Iran with a vast nuclear infrastructure. It lifts the sanctions on them fairly quickly and enables them to get billions of dollars into their coffers. They're not going to use it for schools or hospital or roads, Martha. They're going to use it to pump up their terror machine worldwide and their military machine that is busy conquering the Middle East now. And third, it's a temporary deal. That is, whatever restrictions are placed on Iran's nuclear program, they're removed after a few years, and Iran will be free to have a vast arsenal with which to ultimately produce many nuclear bombs.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that, of course, is Bibi Netanyahu. We'll get to that in a second, but joining us now is Noah Rothman, Associate Editor of HotAir.com. Hello, Noah. I want to start with a couple of things. First, Jeb Bush is in the news today because it's been discovered that fairly recently he checked off the Hispanic box on his voter registration form. And to me, this, I'd love to tie this into your piece from the other day about support for Jeb Bush falling in Florida while Marco Rubio is seeing some gain.
Yeah, that's a really inexplicably bizarre situation for him to be in. Clearly, Jeb Bush is not Hispanic. He does have a Hispanic wife, and he converted to Catholicism as a result, and so he identifies very strongly with the American Hispanic community, and God bless him. But his response to this has been something very kind of peculiar in that he took to Twitter and responded to his son, who said, this is basically a tempest in a teapot, and he suggested that he made a mistake. He just accidentally clicked the wrong box, and whether you believe that or not, that's his story. But then later he suggested that he's no longer a WASP. He can't be considered a WASP because he no longer identifies with the P in that initialism. So he really does seem to be clinging a little bit to something of a Hispanic identity, which is just kind of peculiar.
It reminds me of Elizabeth Warren. To an extent. I mean, she made a claim out loud, which of course turned out not to be true, about having a Native American history. Or if you want to take it to Seinfeld, which I like to take everything I can to Seinfeld, Donna Chang, who of course was Donna Changstein from Long Island. Yet she, she quoted Confucius. She did acupuncture, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. It is very bizarre, and he's going to have to explain this. Talk about, though. Of course, tomorrow we have Mr. Paul, Senator Paul, announcing. Marco Rubio has hinted that he will be announcing as well in the not too distant future. Where does he stand, do you think?
Rand Paul?
No, I'm sorry, Rubio.
Oh, well, there's sort of something in the water, a little whiff of something in the air that possibly the Beltway-based coastal establishment Republican Party is getting a little bit nervous about Jeb Bush's ability to appeal not only to a conservative electorate, but to the general electorate. And you don't hear any of this publicly, anything that's on the record. But in off-the-record sentiments, you sometimes see people who are in with the donor class, the Republican Beltway-based donor class, that suggests that maybe the establishment alternative to Jeb Bush is a Marco Rubio. And we saw Ted Cruz get a really significant bounce when he announced his presidential campaign. I think we can expect to see something very similar after the attention that Rand Paul and Marco Rubio are going to get. So that will really be when the rubber meets the road as far as whether the establishment can get behind Marco Rubio. He doesn't poll especially well compared to Bush just yet. Right.
You got a piece that's near the top, if not at the top there, of HotAir.com about what you call the right's worst idea, a new constitutional convention.
Yeah, it's getting a lot of pushback. I'm actually surprised by the amount of really intense passion there is on the right behind this idea that we need to either have a new constitutional convention or something similar, a convention of states. All of them are pursuant to Article 5 of the Constitution, which suggests that you can convene state conventions that are very similar to constitutional conventions, and that, will rewrite either the entire thing or a very circumspect portion of it, focusing on the amendments. It's a nightmarish, disastrous idea. A Republican Party that gets rolled endlessly by liberals, despite the fact that they are in huge majorities, both at the state and the federal level, would be inviting a nightmare if they opened up a constitutional convention, basically ceding all that influence to liberal groups. I don't know if you can contain it. And Enlightenment values that were codified into the American system in the Constitution are far superior to the values of today, which are thinly veiled self-obsession. So I think this is a really uniquely horrible idea, but most of the comment section does not.
No, I think you are absolutely right for many reasons, but I think the lead reason, if you will, is because, as you correctly state, Republicans, I mean, and conservatives for the most part, they don't have the wherewithal. They can't make their point. They can't communicate it. They get rolled constantly. It would be opening up, the possibility of true disaster.
Yeah, well, if we think that only conservatives are going to participate in this, or that the process is going to be limited to creating a balanced budget amendment, it's very strange thinking. It would very quickly get out of hand and become something akin to a whole brand new constitutional convention, rewriting the founding charter of the United States.
Yeah, crazy. Not good news. All right, Noah, thank you as always, sir. Appreciate you coming on. Noah Rothman, folks, check out hotair.com. All right, now let me tell you, here's what we're doing. I've gotten so many questions about this. We do our viewer call-in segment from time to time. And we can't, because of technical reasons, different limitations, we can't just say, all right, hey, call in on Skype right now and we'll take you on the air. It doesn't work like a talk show on the radio. It's a little different. So you have to let us know you're out there. If you watch the show and you want to participate in that segment, you want to tell me how much you love me or you hate me or you want to weigh in on Obama, whatever, here's what you do. You have to email us. But you have to email us now, like in advance, so we could then contact you. So send us your name and your phone number and how we could contact you, and email callsteve@newsmax.com. Call Steve at newsmax.com. And someone on our staff will get back in touch with you, and then we'll set it all up. That's what you do. But again, could it be easier? Call Steve at newsmax.com. We want to hear from you. Up next, Jonathan Tobin of Commentary Magazine will join us. Don't go away.